Hello, everyone, and welcome to iReadit, bringing you your weekly dose of the internet for November 18th, 2018. It is 9 a.m. on Sunday morning. I am here. I believe I had told Nathan we were going to be doing a show today, but I don't know where he is. We're not doing a full show today, though. I am still recovering from eye surgery, so this is going to be more of an update episode to let you all know that we still exist, or at least I do. I know Nathan probably would have done it if he had everything to do so, but God, there's this weird balance with the sunglasses of they make my eyes have to squint just a little bit to like look at the computer screen, but the computer screen's real bright, so it's like, do you want to be tired from looking at the screen? Do you want to be tired from the light, or do you want to be tired from trying to see? Take your choice. Which I might be able to achieve a weird form of balance if, like, I put on the sunglasses and increased the brightness of the screen so that, like, the sunglasses could take the edge off, but the light still was enough to make it through. I don't know. Anyway. Good morning, everybody. If you'd like to support the show, please go to patreon.com/dailyinternet. Pick up some of our merchandise in the link in the description or the show notes below. And of course, if there's anything that you'd like to talk about, we do have a couple things that will go on to the episode next week that are now like a month old because, well, it's been a while. If you have anything that you want us to talk about, send it to us, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit. All of those are at iReaditCast. You can find us on all of those. Also great places to follow and share the show to help us as well. So, good morning. I don't actually have news topics for you today. I have spent most of the last week laying right over there, recovering on the couch, wishing that my eyes were healed. So, Zach in the chat room says he fucking loves my hat. I found this hat yesterday, 2 days ago. 2 days ago? Friday. Found it Friday. It was 2 days ago. I found it 2 days ago at GameStop. So those that can see the video, I'm going to kneel my head down so that you can see. For those that are audio only, I got it at GameStop. It's a black hat. And on the main, I don't know what the this is called the bill. I don't know what the front where they always put graphics and stuff is called. But anyway, on this front graphics part, there's a little blue fairy with white wings with little spritzy dots coming off of them because they're flying, and most video game people will immediately recognize the character as the fairy Navi from Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And on the top of the bill, it has the words, "Hey, listen!" So that is the hat that I am wearing today. I got a couple other hats that I don't actually have readily available for me, but I can show you. Hey, Bianca, will you grab the two hats that are sitting on the chair right over there? If you are a big fan of hats, by the way, go ahead and give you an update. One, I have like 40 hats. If you don't notice, I have like a different hat on every single episode for like 3 months straight. But also, Hot Topic is where I buy most of them. Hot Topic and GameStop. I don't go to places like Lids. They don't have awesome nerd hats and they're too expensive. And you can, like, I've been told that apparently you can find cool nerds hat at places like Fred Meyer and Walmart, and I've never seen them there. I've seen regular ball caps, but I only wear the snapback style hat. I think it's the one that looks good on me. It's the one that Jennifer says looks good on me. It's also comfortable because I have a really big head. However, the point of that statement was Hot Topic is where I get most of my hats. And they had a deal probably about 2 years ago now where it was buy one hat, get one hat for $1. And I probably bought at least a dozen hats as long as they had that promotion going on. Well, I walked in there on Friday. The Navi hats from GameStop, but I did find 2 hats in Hot Topic, which I walked in and went, I'm buying that one. And then I was like squinting around in my blind state of recovering from eye surgery and saw the sign right in front of me that said buy one hat, get one for $1. And I just about screamed and had a baby just right there in the middle of Hot Topic, which it really made me feel, I don't know, good, because there's 2 people that have worked at that particular Hot Topic for a few years now. And like I just let out this exclamation of elation that about how the buy one get one for $1 deal was back. And my friend Kit, who was driving me around because he's a wonderful person and I appreciate him, was with me. And he's like, why are you so excited? I was like, you don't understand, dude. Last time that they had this deal, I probably bought 12 or 14 hats, maybe more. And there was this woman there who I recognize her, and she has been there for quite some time. She goes, you should have seen this fool. He was in here like every 3 days looking at new hats. And I'm sitting there telling him, like, boy, we don't get new shipment that often. You need to wait at least a week or so and see if we got anything new in. But you coming back in 3 days, it ain't gonna change. I just started laughing. Anyway. The other two, the hat that I instantly had to buy was this one because it is fantastic. For those in the video, this is for you. For those at home that cannot see the video, it is a bright, brilliant red hat, and on the brim of it, it has something that looks akin to like a 1980s roller rink. Or like the birthday section of a McDonald's when McDonald's had birthdays, if we want to date ourselves. But on the actual graphic of the hat, there is the one, the only Emperor Kuzco. Kuzco, he's king of the world. The other hat that I got is this Bendy and the Ink Machine one. I've not actually managed to get around to playing Bendy and the Ink Machine yet, but this hat is really cool looking. And it's been at Hot Topic for like months, and I was like, well, it's $1. I'll buy it, and I will get around to playing Bendy and the Ink Machine eventually. Anyway, so what's going on? What's going on with me, with my eyeballs? Well, we did not have a show last week, and that's because last Saturday, so 8 days ago now, which I'm tilting the hat to try and shield my head from the light over here. I have it on because otherwise you won't be able to see me. But certain lights are offensive, certain lights are not. That one apparently is. Anyway, I think it's also because of the way that I'm like curved, that it's like just barely shine. Yeah, I can even see that it's barely shining through underneath the hat and behind the glasses. And that, you know, that's just real rude. So what we're going to do is we're going to just impromptu shuffle the camera around so that I can look this way. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's better. Ish. I don't know. Hide. Anyway, so what ended up happening? I have been wanting to get corrective eye surgery for quite some time. My optometrist about a month ago finally said that, yeah, your vision has stabilized enough that I will approve you for LASIK eye surgery, for corrective eye surgery. And so I was like, sweet, awesome. Let's go get corrective eye surgery. And he's like, there's a really good place here in Anchorage, Alaska. It's $4,600 for the surgery. You can come to us for your post-surgery checkups. Those will be $600. There's probably some additional fees. You might be looking anywhere between, depending on some other features, you might be looking at $300 to an extra $500 in expenses. And then after fees, it'll probably, you should probably estimate about $6,000 total. And I was like, whoa, holy fuck. I would like, my top end was like 4. Okay. And I even asked them, I was like, so what about if I travel out of state? And they're like, you know, I don't, most of the time the cost is not with the procedure. It's actually trying to pay off the machine. So I'm not sure if you would find a better deal somewhere else. Plus, you know, you have to pay to get out of Alaska and you need to pay for a hotel. Yeah, well, they were wrong. I adore them, but man, were they wrong. So it was $4,600 for just the procedure here in Alaska. There is a Groupon, because Groupon is a wonderful thing. There is a Groupon that exists for the LASIK Vision Institute across the country. And in Seattle, it is $700 an eye. So a whopping $1,400 total. So I was not only able to fly from Alaska to Washington, get a hotel, go on a vacation. It's a very small mini vacation. Like, I literally got to go around Seattle one day, in which we went to like the Mopop Museum. We went to Chihuly Garden and Glass. We went to the Space Needle. We were going to go to the aquarium, but we did all those other things first, and then we're heading to the aquarium at like 4, and then we're like, we need directions, and we looked it up on the phone. They're like, they close at 5, and we're like, well, shit. So we didn't get to go to the aquarium. But yeah, so it was $1,400, and even with flying to Seattle, staying in Seattle, and paying for like food and transportation and a hotel and all that stuff, it was still, it barely hit $2,000 total. And so it's immensely cheaper if you are in Alaska to fly somewhere else. If you are not in Alaska, if you're somewhere in the lower 48, there is probably a LASIK Vision Institute somewhere close to you. The Seattle branch is the only one that I'm aware of, at least, that is doing the $1,400 price. The other ones are doing 15 or 16 or no, it's 16, 18 or 2,000. But either way, that's still immensely cheaper than anything that I was going to be paying. But we did run into not necessarily complications, but alterations to the plan. My optometrist had approved me for LASIK surgery. I go to the LASIK Vision Institute. They put me under their machines and run all their little checks. And I am not approved for LASIK surgery. I can still have corrective eye surgery. It just can't be LASIK. Instead, I have to get PRK. So what is the difference? First, let me find out what the hell PRK stands for, because I don't actually friggin' know. Photorefractive kerarectomy is what PRK stands for. All right. So what are they doing? So to summarize this as best I can, you have this clear wall over the front of your eye called your cornea wall. And think of that as like a piece of thick plastic wrap, okay? Now, when you have bad vision, outside of astigmatism, because I don't remember exactly how astigmatism works, but nearsighted and farsighted means your eyes are either squished together from the sides or squished together from the top. And if it's supposed to be a sphere, that creates, a change in the shape, which causes your vision to be warped. Well, so the problem there is that depending on the worse your vision is, the more squished your eyeball is, which means, and when you squish a ball, it pushes tissue towards the sides that aren't being squished. And so we can't go back really, so it all goes towards the front. So your eye kind of forms like this ball in the back and then the squished out little like egg shape in the front. And so the way that LASIK works, they use a laser, they cut the cornea wall, they pull the cornea wall out of the way, they remove the tissue that's in front of your eye and put the cornea wall back. They don't need to correct the entire shape of your eye, just what's actually in front of your pupils, where the light actually comes in. They just correct that so that when the light comes in, it doesn't get refracted in the wrong way and you can see normally. Well, there's two issues, is that, like I said, it's like a piece of plastic wrap or cellophane. And so the worse your eyes are, the more they're squished, which pushes more tissue out towards that cellophane. Well, what happens if you take a piece of plastic wrap and squish it over a mountain of loaded mashed potatoes? Well, it gets kind of stretched out and forms to the shape of that mashed potatoes. If you lift up that plastic wrap and remove the mashed potatoes from underneath and put the plastic wrap back, unless you like re-stretch it or something, it's going to be the shape of the mashed potatoes that was there earlier. And that's a problem when it comes to your cornea, because that forms like a bubble, so stuff can get underneath it. You can have like air problems underneath it. It can end up getting crinkled, flapped. There's a bunch of things that can go wrong, especially when you have really bad vision when it's that stretched out. So that was problem number one. My vision was too bad. But even beyond that, my corneal wall was half as thick as it should be, which realistically isn't that big of an issue. It does mean that my eyes are a little bit more, technically they have a higher risk of being damaged in general, but it's not a big deal. It is a big deal of that instead of having like, 3 nice thick sheets of plastic wrap, I have 3 cheapo sheets from the dollar store. And so that would have increased the risk of things like the cornea bending or anything like that. So I couldn't have LASIK. But I could get PRK. So what's the difference there? Well, the way that PRK works, instead of cutting the entire cornea wall and moving it out of the way, your first few layers of your eye function a lot like your skin. Your skin is constantly dying and flaking off and regenerating itself, and it does so in this infinite cycle. Well, the first few layers of your eye on your cornea wall are much the exact same way. They have these layers that they, get old, they come off, and they regrow. They're regenerative. And so the way that PRK works, if you have bad vision or tooth in a corneal wall or both, is that they use a solution and they dissolve away that cornea wall. They completely just dissolve it away because it'll heal back. But your eye doesn't like that. They dissolve it away. They move what's left out of the way. They remove the tissue underneath, put a little bit back, and then they put a contact lens on it to act as a bandage. It's a much safer and a much healthier surgery because instead of your cornea wall being the shape that the eye was before, it is now going to regrow those layers into the shape that the eye is now. So ultimately it's a much safer surgery. It's a much healthier surgery. But because we're not just making a small little incision, moving something, correcting something, and putting it back, we actually have to wait for the eye to regrow, heal itself, fix itself, all that kind of stuff. It's a much more painful recovery and a much longer recovery. If I had done LASIK, I might have some dry, scratchy eyes, but otherwise I would be completely back to normal by now. I, however, am not. I still have light sensitivity, if you cannot tell by my wonderful hat and sunglasses for those on the video. But also, after about 20 feet right now, stuff still gets blurry. I can see significantly better than I could before without my glasses, but it is still blurry after about 20 feet. Which is really weird to me because like there's this concern of, oh my God, it didn't work. It did work, but it takes a really long time for it to heal and to clear. My vision won't be considered, like I won't be clear with quotes around it for at least another week. And even after that, my vision won't actually be fully healed and stabilized for 3 months total. So fun. It's also been a really fun week because those first 4 days when like that cornea wall is gone and your eyes are trying to heal and everything sucks, like you like it like I couldn't go to work, and it's not like it's not like, oh man, I got super sick, I'm gonna lay at home and watch movies or play video games. No, I can't see. I couldn't see. So you know what I got to do? Nothing. I got to lay there and be miserable. I didn't get to oh man, I won't be there this week, boss. Pew, 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 pew. Nope. I listened to podcasts and audiobooks, and let me tell you what, like I like both podcasts and audiobooks, but after 8 hours of listening to podcasts and not doing anything else, because normally when I listen to podcasts, I'm like working or I'm, or working at home or whatever. Doing just that about makes me want to just completely rip my own head off because I was just like I was getting stir crazy. After they removed the contact, though, it started to feel better, which was nice. Yeah, it's been a fun time. And of course, 2 days in a row, I got something in my right eye. And what was great about that is that both the like manager for the surgery center, the surgeon themselves, the optometrist, my optometrist, reminded me on multiple occasions that to not let water into my eye. Like, if I do get any water into my eye, it needs to be very incidental, but don't run water over your eye. Don't stick your head in the shower. Of course. How am I supposed to wash my eye out and get whatever's in my eye out if I can't run water over it? Well, and what made that even better is I don't actually have one nearby, which impresses me. I must have cleaned up my mess. The only thing I had for eye drops were these itty-bitty little vials. Like, they maybe had, like, I don't know, maybe like a tenth of a teaspoon of eye drop in them. And that's all I had. So I'm like ripping these open and trying to dump them into my eye, like 5, 6, 7, 8 of them, trying to get enough liquid in my eye to hopefully be able to blink whatever's in it out. And I did finally get it out. And then the next day it happened again. And I called my sister. I was like, Brittany, help me. Save me. I was like, I need you to go to the store and like buy a bottle of solution so that I can just bathe my eye in it so I can clean it out. And so, like, I'm sitting there waiting, and, like, she's like, yeah, I knew it'd be, like, an hour and a half. She has kids. She has a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. And, have to, like, get them in the car, go to the store, get them in the store, get them out of the store. It's a fun time. And, of course, like, 10 minutes before she actually gets to the house, whatever was in my eye left. It just got out. And so she gets there, and I'm like, yep, it's gone. Thanks for bringing me food, though. So, yeah, it's been a fun time. I go to the optometrist again on Tuesday to find out where I'm at in terms of my eye health. They did look at it when they removed the cornea, when they moved the contact lens. My left eye had 100% healed. My right eye was at 95%. I hope both are at 100% healed now. But just because those layers have regenerated themselves back, my eye is actually not done recovering. It just means that we don't have to be concerned that it's missing layers of protection. So that's nice. Like I said, it should get clearer over the next week. It'll get significantly clearer over the next 2.5 months because, yeah. But hopefully I should be able to go back to work tomorrow and return to being a normal member of society. Hopefully. Anyway, that is the surgery update on my face and my hats, apparently. So I hope everyone is having a good day. I don't know where Nathan is. He's probably asleep, though, because he probably thought that we wouldn't have one today, which we're not having much of one, but you know what? We're making do. I will, however, go ahead and pull up our trusty handy news source and just take a scroll over what's been going on the last couple of weeks and see if there's anything that I just want to take a hot take on. Give some final thoughts or whatever on. The other thing, no, I'll just move into that. Yeah, this is something important. Stan Lee passed away at 95 years old. That happened on Tuesday, I believe. Yeah, that sucks. Although I do like that, like 3 years ago when Stan Lee had a medical emergency, Marvel was like, "Don't worry, everybody. We already got his next 15 cameos for Marvel movies." And it's like, while that's cool, I don't know if that was the right response. We're not necessarily concerned about his cameo appearances. We are concerned about his health because he's, a national treasure. But he did finally pass away. Stan Lee, the creator of Marvel Comics, Marvel movies. He's the person that brought us, the Avengers, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and so many others. He definitely impacted many lives, built an entire legacy. And so he will be missed. But much like Stephen Hawking when he passed away, most people just agree that Stan Lee has merely left his mortal form and has traveled on to go do better and bigger things in the cosmos. So, anyway, yeah, Stan Lee, you will be missed. I'm going to just keep scrolling here and see if there's anything else that I immediately recognize. CIA concludes that the Saudi Crown Prince ordered Jamal Khashoggi's assassination. Jamal Khashoggi, which was the Saudi Arabian reporter, journalist that was murdered in the Saudi Arabian consulate in Istanbul. Yeah, Turkey is playing this really well also, because they have basically said, not only were we spying on you, but we have proof that everything that you're saying is a lie, and they've just been rocking that. Recently there was leaked images of them dismembering Khashoggi's body. You can find them if you want. I'm not going to even provide you a link here because I looked at them, and that's really fucking grotesque. There was things involving chainsaws and forklifts, so I will leave your imagination to the rest of that. So, but in any case, beyond that, the thing that bugs me about this whole situation is while there are lots of countries that are shaking their finger at Saudi Arabia, but no one's doing anything yet. And I don't know what you do in these circumstances. This is not my job. But what I do know is that you don't do nothing. So, but everything is pointing to that, yeah, Saudi Arabia just straight up ordered him to be murdered. And what was interesting is the responses of the people that have been caught that actually committed the murder and dismemberment, because they didn't understand. And the reason that they didn't understand is because they had the blessing protection of the Saudi Arabian government. So they were just it was a Tuesday for them. They just are oh, okay, we're going to go kill this guy, cut him up, get rid of him, whatever. The royalty told us to do it. All right. And so the fact that there's like this big outcry about it now, they're like, but that's just like work. So, in any case, the world is a interesting place. CNN sues President Trump and the White House for banning reporter Jim Acosta. Jim Acosta, CNN reporter that had his press pass to the White House revoked after a series of questions. Yeah, you know, it doesn't always look well when you just tell the press to get lost. So, that said, I also know that I don't know where it is in all of these, but I do know that a federal judge has ordered the White House to return his press pass because you can't just take it away simply because you don't like him. I mean, you can try, but, well, yeah. Holy shit. God damn it, I hate headlines like this. Black security guard who stopped shooter is then shot and killed by police. Can we just have a conversation about how much we suck at this right now? Like, sweet Lord. So a police officer responding to a Chicago area bar shot and killed. A police officer that was responding to a shooting in a Chicago area bar shot and killed a black security guard who had subdued and disarmed the shooter. Man. Apparently, when it was at 4 a.m., drunken men were asked to leave Manny's Blue Room bar. Someone from the group returned with a gun and opened fire. Security returned fire. An armed security guard, Jamel Robertson, apprehended one of the men involved outside. He had them on the ground with his knee in his back and his gun pointed in the back with him saying, "Don't move." An officer responded to the scene and just shot and killed the guy. That is depressing on so many levels. I have no responses to this. Like, this is the one of the things that makes Nathan the most angry, irate, upset, is because, and this happens so commonly in America, and it's one of the reasons that I wasn't able to become a police officer, is because there is so little amount of like timed judgment or calculated inference in situations when it comes to police responding to a situation in America. Like, I went and applied to be on the Anchorage Police Department. And the first thing that they have you do is they have you take this big, long test. And in the middle of the test, there is like 40 questions that are all scenarios, much like this one. Of, you come to a bar, there's a black man with a gun who is pointing it at a dude on the ground. What do you do? And like the options are like open fire, or like there was like three just like shitty options. And my answer every time when I looked at it was like, it depends. Like, you have not given me enough information to answer this question. And they're like, well, that might be all the information you have. And I'm like, false, actually. No matter what, I guarantee you there will be more information. Like, absolutely there will be more information. Like, was this guy wearing a security jacket? Probably. Like, what's going on around me? How many people are there? Is this guy currently shooting at anyone? In this particular instance, he has his knee and a back on the guy pointing the gun at him. Like, yes, that is a very precarious situation, but that also doesn't mean that your immediate response should be just like bang, 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 bang. And basically, I was told that because I didn't make a decision off of the information they gave me on the test, and literally their words, I did not think in these situations enough in a black and white sense. Horrible way to phrase that. I did not pass the test to become a police officer. And I'm like, well, all right then. You have a good day. But yeah, stuff like this happens all the time, and it irritates the crap out of me because we also report and talk about the situations where, because an officer didn't just hastily respond with bang, 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 we had a really good outcome to a situation. They were able to talk someone down or something like that. And if more officers would just take an extra 15 seconds, which I understand you can get shot and killed in 15 seconds, but take an extra 15 seconds just to look around. Nope. Black guy with a gun. Better shoot him. Anyway, all right. What else is going on around here? What else can I find to quickly relay to you guys in terms of information? Let's see here. There's a funny. There's a meme. I'm not finding. Of course, because we do the show once a week now. It takes me a little bit longer to actually normally I build the notes. It's on Saturday. I didn't today. And I didn't build them yesterday because I had to go announce a roller derby game yesterday. And let me tell you what, after being in that bright ass gym for like 3 hours, I was so done. Ooh. Doctors post blood-soaked photos after NRA tells them to, quote, stay in their lane. You know, this is one of the things that bugs the shit out of me about a lot of the things involved with politics. The idea that one group of people doesn't have the right or authority to speak about something that is predominantly regulated by, or just involved by another group of people. Like when you see like newscasters on major news outlets telling like sports ball players to just shut up and dribble or anything like that, it's like, no, they're human beings, they're adults, they get opinions too. Like they get to talk about what they want to talk about, and guess what, because they have a following, that means they have a platform. Like, you think that they don't get it or don't understand, but a lot of us don't think that you get it or don't understand. So, welcome. Anyway, U.S. doctors are sharing hundreds of haunting pictures of the aftermath of gun violence on social media after the National Rifle Association of America told medical experts to stay in their lane when it comes to firearm restrictions. Yeah, that's a really grotesque way to respond of, yeah, we're the ones that deal with everything after someone gets shot. That's a really good response. Yeah. Anywho, what else we got in here? I'll try and give you some more. We'll see if we can't stretch like 13 more minutes out of this. Give you at least 45 minutes. Especially since we've had a rough month when it has come to this show. Let's see what else we got in here. And then keep scrolling. Today I learned that Iron Man was created by Stan Lee as a challenge to create a hero no one should like and force people to like him. I think you have achieved that. Iron Man is, a billionaire philanthropist, douchebag a hole, and we all love him because he is exactly what he is. What else we got here? And it's incidentally, I don't think there is any man that can play Tony Stark ever again, unless it's Robert Downey Jr. Preserve that guy, because he just straight up is Tony Stark on so many levels. He's he is Tony Stark after one of Tony Stark's bigger recovery arcs of I'm a better person now, especially because he already did his horrible benders and things. But I would not actually be upset at all if the Marvel Universe after Avengers 4 takes the direction of the Avengers passing their legacy on to someone else. There was this big hullabaloo recently because right now Jane Foster is Thor. At least this could be different. Last time I got this information anyway. Jane Foster is Thor. So not only is Thor not Thor, but Thor is a woman. Iron Man, Tony Stark was getting old, so he passed the legacy of Iron Man to a brilliant young black scientist. And people are like, oh man, they're just going politically correct everywhere. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit at all. It doesn't, I would rather them do that than just, hack some other wannabe guy in as Tony Stark. Because I feel like that is more organic and sets better legacy. What else do we got in here? You get $1 million. However, it's because $100 is taken from 10,000 random people. If nobody knows that you got the money, would you do it? Why or why not? There's a lot I can do with $1 million. Let's see. Can I take $10 from 100,000 people instead? um, if nobody knows, then that also means that they don't know that they lost $100. So probably. And like honestly, money sucks like hell right now. And like I would like to think that one, like not only would it improve my life immensely, but I would like to think that I would have the ability to go do better things than I can currently do with $1 million. Like, not only would I have the money to be able to like get out of this apartment, get into a house, but then I'd have the money to do some things that I want to do. And I don't mean like go see Paris. I mean be able to do like creative projects and venture projects. You can fund projects for very cheap. Like with $1 million, also you just get a decent investment guy, so that you can actually like turn that $1 million into like more money. And yeah, then you're solid and you start either living off of the profits of that, and then hopefully you can build it up enough that I can start doing like actual production work for projects. Baltimore votes to become the first large United States city to ban water privatization. I'd be really curious to see how people feel about the idea of utility privatization in general. Because like for instance, we used to have government controlled power up here in Alaska. We knew not any longer. They sold it to a private company. And that was a big decision. But beyond that, like I don't like the idea of somebody trying to profit off of the basic needs of society: water, electricity. Food is a little bit different, but food, shelter, internet. I feel like those things should be on several levels absolutely unquestionably accessible to everybody. So, what else do we have in here? What else can I relay to you? Fastest growing religion is none. That's because young people like me don't believe in squat. Yeah, we're too visual based. Like we're too much of like we need to see it. I remember even when I was like 10 years old, I'm like, you believe in something you can't see? I was like, at all. In any case, you're basing it all off of a book from 2,000 years ago. Damn, that's hard for me. And like, I will not shortchange religion though. Religion can do some fantastic, wonderful things. I have been on the receiving end of those wonderful, beneficial things. I have felt the relief of the touch of religion. I truly have. In fact, if it wasn't for religion, I might not be here. Massive shout out to Rodney and Kate Wardell, who now operate the Bridge in Oklahoma City. They originally were doing a program called Ignition, which was a youth group type religious get together in Enid, Oklahoma. And I truly 100% right now believe that if it was not for those two people, as well as the people around them and that program, I would not be here. And so, like, but they like I will 100% support them and their approach to religion forever. I was about to go on a missionary trip to Africa as a dude who did not believe in God or Jesus. I have some level of belief in Jesus. I believe he was a dude that did exist. Whether some other stuff happened around him, different question, different story. But I was ready to just go on and spread their message because of how good it was. But the other side of that is that also surrounding me in Oklahoma was a whole bunch of these Christians that are like, you don't give 10% of your check to the church. You don't go to church every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Blurple Day. And you don't do this and this and this and this and this and this. You're going to hell. You're the worst person ever. Fuck you. Thank you. Goodbye. And so like, there are those two sides of that. And there's also a massive swath in between. But so I do think that religion is good if used correctly, but I do also believe that it is very often used as a shield, as a crutch, and is not used to benefit people. Instead, it is used to benefit yourself and to put down others. That's just my take on it. But I do think that there are good things, but it does not surprise me either, especially like everything is getting more intense and severe right now in terms of separation. There is no such thing as not that there isn't, but there is no really recognized entity in terms of being in the middle of the road when it comes to religion, middle of the road when it comes to politics. It's turning into a bunch of games of football. You're either on team red or team blue. You're either on team God or team Allah or team, none. And so like it doesn't surprise me that none is growing as fast as it is. I believe it is the number one religion in Australia, I think. All right, what else do we got? We got a few more minutes here that I can dump some stuff into. A Japanese minister in charge of cybersecurity has provoked astonishment by admitting he has never used a computer and appears confused by the concept of a USB drive. This doesn't surprise me at all. Like, yeah, I understand, yes, he should know what a computer is, how to use a computer. He is the head of cybersecurity in Japan. However, that's not the all way it works, especially in the old man's gentleman club that is the vast majority of world government right now. And so instead, it was like, well, you really done a good job in this job for the last 20 years. You want to be the minister of cybersecurity? And they're like, sure. Like, it's literally a pat on the back. It's not about merit. It's about a level of you've been around. Apparently, the king of Morocco fell asleep during President of France Macron's speech. He's a tired guy. Morocco's a really long way away from wherever this is, so it wouldn't surprise me if he fell asleep. Okay, I will I'm gonna drop this at least in the YouTube and Facebook chats. If you make your way to either of those platforms, you can see this link because this guy is falling asleep, and right next to him is Melania Trump, and on the other side of Melania is President of the United States Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is just staring at this guy like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Oh man! All right, what else we got in here? We got about 2 minutes. Oh man. Oh god, that was excellent. Like that was unexpected. Bat Kid is now cancer-free 5 years after taking over the city of San Francisco with Make-A-Wish. Congratulations. Fuck cancer. I hate cancer. Get that shit out of here. Let's see, what else do we got in here? I also saw, I don't see a post for it right now, but I did see two things that we'll talk about real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get out of here. One is that I saw that Trump tweeted out that if it wasn't for America, that France would be speaking German right now. You disgusting, insensitive bastard. Like, how fucking dare you? Like, let's not forget that France, like, if it wasn't for France and Spain, America wouldn't exist. And France, like, rushed to the colony's aid to allow us to be an independent nation. Like, they are one of our oldest and closest allies. Fuck you. Do not fuck with France. I don't even, like, care for France. I think it's because, like, that German blood. I don't know. But, like, for some reason, France just, like, scratches me the wrong way. I don't know. But at the same time, like, as an American, I'm like, yeah, France is our jam. France is the best friend that we never asked for, and we need to not abuse them. And not only are they the best friend that we never asked for, they have one of the most, like, powerful, influential leaders right now. Like, Emmanuel Macron is ridiculous. Like, that is a guy that, like, I could see trying to figure out how to literally be the ruler of the free world. And I don't mean the free world as in America, the free world. I mean literally the world. Because that's the kind of drive and motivation and capability that guy has. Other thing I want to talk about real quick before we go is the Detective Pikachu movie. Pikachu is voiced by Ryan Reynolds. The first trailer for that dropped 6 days ago. And it is fantastic. Pokemon are adorable. You need to go watch that trailer and report back. All right. Anyway, we will get out of here now. Please remember, everybody, you can help support the show by going to patreon.com/dailyinternet. You can pick up our merchandise in the link below. We got the logo shirt. We got the Sucks to Suck shirt. We got the I Didn't Vote For You shirt. We got the Puns Are Us shirt. Go in there, pick yourself up a shirt, help support us, help us grow. You have done so much for us already. New equipment for me. We don't have all the streaming problems we used to have where we'd have like drop streams, lost frames, stutters, anything like that, because I have a new system thanks to all of you. Nathan just got a new computer that gets paid off next month thanks to all of you. So thank you so much for your continued support on Patreon, as well as picking up that merchandise. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Patreon, go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, iReadit, basically fucking anywhere. Search iReadit Cast. I guarantee you that we will be there. If you don't see us for some reason, let me know, and I will make sure that we are able to be found by those methods. And yeah, if you just want to leave feedback, anything like that, share us on those things. That helps us be found, discovered. You can also let us know what you want us to talk about. It doesn't have to be a news story. It can be a topic, a concept, a theory, something that happened in history, whatever. Just drop it in there and let us know. Otherwise, yeah, you can follow me on social media at Schwahn Michael, Nathan at Bimmenstein. I am thankfully doing significantly better than I was before in this whole recovering from eye surgery thing. And yeah, so I shall hopefully see you significantly better than I can right now when it is next week. So we'll be back on Sunday, November 25th. That'll be after Thanksgiving and Black Friday. So I hope you all have a good holiday. And we will see you then. But until then, this was not technically an episode. I didn't give it a number. It should have been episode like 530 or something like that. I just named it U2 for update 2 because it wasn't really quite an episode. But we'll be back with a regular show next week. And yeah, I hope you all have a good time. And I don't have the iPad out because I wasn't going to do things. So I didn't vote for you. Bye.